People think fat people never get off the couch. And people think that fat people sit around eating all day. My mission is to challenge people's assumptions about fat people. I'm Mirna Valerio, and I'm a runner. I've been running long distance for about 8 years. I've done 9 marathons and 10 ultramarathons, with my longest being 100K. Traditionally, trail races and other outdoor events have not always been welcoming to people like me. I'm Black, I'm a woman, and I'm fat. When I go to a race, I know I'm breaking the mold. It's still very white and very male. So I know going in that I'm going to be different. Right, put that in a bowl. 10 years ago, I lived a very stressful life, and so that took a huge toll on my health. I consulted with a doctor who told me that I needed to change my lifestyle pretty drastically if I wanted to see my son grow up. So I did. I'd had some experiences with people always making the assumption that whatever I was doing, it was for weight loss. After a couple of years, it was not a weight loss thing anymore. It's about fitness. Running makes me feel like my most human self. My first mile was pretty awful. It was painful, it was slow. When I'm feeling like this is really too difficult, I know that in the end, I'm doing it for a reason. There's always a larger reason. The end goal not always only being to finish, but the more important thing is that I'm out there, because sometimes I come in last. It's amazing to me how many messages I get on a daily basis saying, thank you for being you. Thank you for living in your own space and taking up space and not being afraid to do that, because that has allowed me to do that. I'm going to continue doing it because I think people still need to see me.
When you highline often, you really learn to train your fear like a muscle. Sometimes the height isn't the scariest part. Sometimes it's the exposure, which is how much space you can perceive around you. My name is Faith Dickey, and I'm a professional slackliner. So slacklining is the umbrella term for all the different facets of walking on a flat, woven band. One of these facets is highlining, which is walking a slackline high off the ground. One of the best ways to train for highlining is setting up slacklines over water. When the current is passing underneath you, you automatically start to fall that same direction, and it's almost like you're not in control of your body. And that's great practice for highlining, because in highlining, when you're dealing with all the fear and adrenaline, oftentimes it feels like you're not in control of your own body either. Chamonix is a town in the Alpes of France. And it's one of the places that really drives me in highlining. What's different about highlining in the Alps is that the whole experience is more intense. Being that high off the ground, you look at the valley below and the houses are just tiny specks. They look like toys. It's unbelievable. One of the highlines that I walked recently in Chamonix was on Aiguille du Midi. And when we reached the top, it was a totally clear blue sky, and we were surrounded by peaks. But during the process of rigging, the clouds started to roll in. It was like an acid trip walking the line. I was out there in space and exposure trying to balance, and the line was swinging beneath me. Meanwhile, these huge white clouds were passing, and the line would disappear, the anchor would disappear, and then it would reappear. And there was no way to control it. I just had to hang on. The beauty of the mountains is awesome, and yet it is a landscape that demands focus and respect. Alpine highlining is the purest form of the sport I can think of.